Oh, hi! Oh my god, I haven't seen you forever. I literally haven't seen you in ever. Like, it has been so long. Let's start talking some skepticism, shall we? So, okay, it's been a while, so what are we going to talk about? We are going to talk about a chiropractor from Northern Virginia who's been making some pretty radical claims. His name is Mr. White. Not that Mr. White. No. Yes, that one. There you go. Thank you, editing staff. I apologize in advance for the quality of this video. I couldn't find his commercial on the internet. I couldn't find it on YouTube anywhere. So I had to record it with my phone. I was lucky enough to get it. I only got most of it, but I got a fair amount of the important stuff, so let's take a look.
Feels like a warm massage. It's the most amazing device I've seen in over 27 years of practice. Many patients feel relief even after the very first visit, even when other treatments have failed. Don't give up hope. Call 1-800-PAIN-FREE now and experience the Class 4 Deep Tissue Laser for free. The first 25 callers to 1-800-PAIN-FREE will receive 2 absolutely free laser treatments. These free laser treatments are my gift to you so that you can see for yourself what our deep tissue laser can do. We're helping people eliminate their pain without the need for drugs or surgery. You have nothing to lose but your pain. Call 1-800-PAIN-FREE now. God bless, and I look forward to meeting you.
Before we get to debunking and explaining Mr. White's claims, explaining why he's wrong, and explaining why his claims are dangerous, I wanted to show you a clip from Road to Reason in which we called Mr. White to ask him a couple of questions. We only got 2 questions in because they hung up on the second question. And it's pretty telling, so I'll give past Steph the mic.
Yeah, the phone ringing. Phone is ringing. We're waiting to see. Maybe they don't work on Sundays.
Hello, this is Dr. White. How can I help?
Hi, Dr. White. This is Stephanie Gatormson. I'm calling from Road to Reason, and you are on the air live. I just wanted to ask you a few questions, if you would be so kind.
Hey there. Actually, I need to know who you are. What's that?
My name is Stephanie, and I'm calling from the show Road to Reason.
All right.
I wanted to just ask you a couple questions, Dr. White, about the laser therapy that you offer.
No. Actually, I'm watching the football game, man. Why aren't you watching the playoffs?
So I'm a little confused. So in wanting to talk to you about your laser therapy, you'd rather watch football.
Yeah, actually, feel free to call me Monday. Like hours of 9 and 3.
I see. Just real quick, while I have you, and since obviously the laser stuff would be a lot to ask us, could you tell me where you went to medical school? Oh, I think we lost him. I think we lost Mr. Dr. White.
Welcome back, kiddos. So now I want to start talking about exactly why he's wrong. Now, aside from the fact that chiropractors in general, chiropractic as a field, is nonsense and not based on science, you can click over here and check out the history of chiropractic in 5 minutes or less that I did some time ago to get a little bit of a primer as to why chiropractic is nonsense. I'm not going to go into the specifics of chiropractic so much as his claims to be able to cure a whole host of ailments with this class 4 laser that he is claiming in the video you saw before, in the commercial you saw before. So first, I wanted to take a look at his credentials. On his website, I'm going to link it in the description, and I'll probably put something here, so editing stuff, do your work. He claims to be a doctor, at least he puts DR before his name. Now, this heavily implies that he's a medical doctor. You know, like when you hear the word doctor, you think MD or something similar. You know, someone who has a medical degree. Unfortunately, this guy is a little less than honest about that. See, he's a doctor of chiropractic, and doctor of chiropractic is not the same thing as a regular doctor or a medical doctor. Medical doctors go to medical school for at least 8 years or so, and then they have to do their residency and specialty, and all that other stuff can take forever, upwards of 12 years, 8 to 12 years of education just in medicine. Forget the fact that they have to go to undergraduate as well. Mr. White has some undergraduate stuff from George Mason. Great. He also claims on his site to have gone to Palmer University. Now, being the skeptic I am, I Googled Palmer University. Nothing came up except Palmer College of Chiropractic. Now, what I'm about to launch into is a little bit pedantic, but for the educated community, the word university means a very specific thing. The word university refers to an institution that offers at least a master's degree, if not more. Most universities offer doctorate programs as well. However, you really only need master's programs. Now, the thing about chiropractic schools is they can't acquire the accreditation to have master's programs because there's nothing to have a master's program in. And you'll notice something. It's called the Palmer School of Chiropractic. Now, where have I heard that name before? Oh yeah, check out my video on the history of chiropractic in 5 minutes or less to learn about the founder of chiropractic, who was a little bit crazy. Back to Mr. White. When I called him, you'll notice that when I asked him about his medical degree and where he got his education, he hung up on me pretty quickly. He was also not interested in explaining how his laser worked, but we'll get to that later. For someone who's supposed to be a doctor, he seems pretty dodgy about his credentials and his education and everything else that goes along with his practice. I invite Mr. White to prove me wrong. All Mr. White has to do is produce data, preferably in the form of peer-reviewed scientific evidence, published in journals, real, actual medical journals, not chiropractic journals, ones reviewed by actual scientists. Please. That's all you gotta do. Now, let's get to this guy's laser, shall we? Because that's the main point of this video. He claims to use a class 4 laser to heal everything from bone spurs to spinal stenosis and all sorts of things. I think the list is here. The problem with this is that class 4 lasers have a very limited scope as far as medical application. The evidence for the efficacy of class 4 lasers for medical use is scant. However, that which does exist, links in the description, is extremely limited in scope and refers to soft tissue injuries. They explain that the wavelengths of this light produced by this laser can help increase blood flow to soft tissues, which is then the catalyst of it healing and repairing structures at the cellular level. It says nothing about bones. It's only soft tissue, things like cartilage and tendons and things of that nature. One of the things I noticed during my research of this is that class 4 lasers of this sort are heavily used for tennis elbow. Tennis elbow is a soft tissue issue, not anything to do with bones. Why is this a problem? Well, Mr. White can claim anything he wants. The problem with his claims isn't so much that he's wrong, because he's wrong, and being wrong is bad. But being wrong in and of itself isn't so bad until you start telling people that your treatment, which by the way has no medical basis outside of a very limited scope that you're not even using it for, Mr. White. The problem here is that he's telling people that his treatment, his so-called efficacious treatment for which he's misusing the laser, is better than or a substitute for pain medication and surgery. This guy is trying to take the place of actual doctors in the form of replacing medicine, like pills and drugs and things like that, pain medication, and surgery. During my research, I found that when lasers were used in a medical setting by actual, doctors, that they were used a great deal, actually, for post-surgical pain. So if this is supposed to be a replacement for surgery, it's odd that doctors who actually know what they're doing are using it for pain after surgery, which is the more efficacious part of what's being done to people. The actual surgery is what's helping. The pain management afterwards, not so much. It just helps them recover. Class 4 lasers carry a few risks, including irritations to the skin and the eyes. Now, of course, you shouldn't be staring at these lasers. Those are the risks involved. And I mention the risks involved because Mr. White here has failed to do that across his entire website. That's odd. That's odd. You would think that if someone was legit, they wouldn't have any problem telling you what the risks are. I found another place that does what they're called the Laser Spine Institute. I'm not super sold on what they do either. However, they do something that Mr. White doesn't. Not only do they have trained medical professionals on hand, not only do they have actual doctors as staff, their website has a disclaimer. And it tells you that you shouldn't be using testimonials, or their testimonials, as a replacement for the advice of a medical doctor. That is fantastic. I'm annoyed it's fine print, but there's always fine print. Fine print's just everywhere. Deal with it. Read the fine print. The fact that they are so upfront and so honest about it allows me to trust them a little more. But the point here is, they took the time to explain the fact that, well, things carry risks, and your results are going to vary a little bit, and you can't use anecdotes to replace data and the advice of a medical doctor. Mr. White doesn't do this. He also has a colleague who has the same last name and is a little younger. It appears to be his son. Now, I could be wrong. It could be a coincidence, but who knows? I find it interesting that he decided that listing his track and field and triple jump and other stuff, it's here. Read it. Since Mr. White isn't a doctor, it's dangerous for him to be telling people that his treatment is a substitute for drugs and surgery. If it were up to me, claiming things like this without having the proper credentials and the proper data to support it would be illegal. But it's not up to me. So all I get to do is sit here on YouTube and let you guys know that this man is, at least insofar as his practice is concerned, a con artist. I'm sorry to say. Well, actually, I'm not sorry to say. Mr. White, you are a con artist and you are swindling people out of money for a treatment that has no medical basis, or at least a narrow medical basis for which you're not using it. I wanted to tell you guys about him because I like debunking charlatans. Let's just be honest. There was another guy I debunked. What was his name? I wonder. Do you remember what he looked like? Oh, yeah. This guy. What's his name? Adam? Yeah. We'll have another video about him some other time. Got an update for you. Whew. Wow, that was a long video. Sorry, everybody. I know it's been forever since I made a video, and I'm so sorry. I've just had a lot of life happening. If you check out the background, you'll notice that I'm in a different place. I moved recently, and that's part of why it's taken me so long to get another video out. I've had a lot of stuff to do, both with moving and just kind of reorganizing my life. So, thanks for your patience. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it everywhere. If you want to follow me on social media, my links are in the description below, and I will see you next time. Later. The evidence for the efficacy of